Hello, I'm Chris Stobeck, Associate Director for Housing Operations at NC State University. Glad to have you here with us today. Hope that you all are doing well. Um, it's a little rainy outside. If you're familiar with this area of town, we've got some pollen in the air, so it's kind of yucky outside today. But good time today, next hour with you, talk about the benefits of living on campus, any questions you may have about living on campus in residence halls or on the apartments here at NC State University. Again, we have about an hour together, so feel free to ask any questions that you may have. We'll certainly answer those for you. We've changed our presentation from last year. We used to have very text-heavy PowerPoint presentations. We're going to do more images and pictures for everybody this year. If you really see and experience what it's like to live on the residence halls here at NC State University. The first picture you see here, two women living on campus right now in one of our halls. Right away, you can see that we've got lofted beds. So we have 20 residence halls here on campus, all halls you can choose to live in. Unlike some other schools you may be looking at right now, we do not have freshman-specific residence halls, which is a great opportunity for you, so that it gives you a good shared experience with different folks in the residence halls. Our returning students then go through selection in the spring, and they self-select the exact bed space they want to live in for the fall term. So then we just fill the other spaces with incoming freshman students. Right now we house about 9,000 students on campus here at NC State University. We're very happy with that. About 75% of the freshman students elect to live on campus here at NC State. Unlike some other schools you may also be looking at, we don't have a freshman live-on requirement. So at no point are we saying you must live on campus here at NC State. All of the students live on campus choose to live on campus here with us. Again, about 75% of the students choose to live here in the residence halls. Our housing application opened the middle of December, and we do our assignments based off of date of application. So the sooner students apply for housing, the more likely they're to receive their top 3 building choices. So although our application opened in December and it's now April, don't worry, we still have plenty of space for our students. So if you've not completed your housing application yet, please go ahead and do that. The process to complete your application is pretty straightforward. Any student that has been accepted by the university can complete their housing application. And I'll say this a couple more times today, unlike some other schools you may be looking at, we don't have an application fee. So once you've been accepted by the university, feel free to log back into MyPack portal, collect prospective students on campus, and then complete your housing application. There's no financial obligation to complete a housing application, which is a really good opportunity for you. So log into MyPack portal, complete your housing application. There's about 6 or 7 tabs of information you'll need to complete. There's some campus safety questions, emergency contact information. You can preference your top 3 building choices. Again, that's where that priority is so important. The sooner you apply, the more likely you are to receive your top 3 building choices here on campus at NC State. We also have a preferred roommate feature. So if you have someone that you want to live with here at NC State University, you can request them as a roommate. The caveat with the preferred roommate is that it does need to be a mutual match. Unfortunately, what we see from time to time is some students will think that they're best friends with one another. So we'll have 2 students, let's just say Carrie and Betsy, do an application. Carrie thinks that she's Betsy's best friend, so Carrie lists Betsy as her preferred roommate. Betsy unfortunately does not list Carrie as her preferred roommate, so then we can't do the assignment together. And then ultimately we receive a phone call in our office and said, you know, we're roommates, why are we not assigned together? So again, if you have a preferred roommate you're looking at, make sure you have a good conversation and just confirm with them that you are indeed their preferred roommate as well. If you don't have a preferred roommate, no worries. We have 2 mechanisms in place for you. The first is we have 3 lifestyle questions on our housing application. I call them the cranky scale, and it's 3 very straightforward questions. The first is, do you go to bed early? Do you wake up early? And then do you study with noise? What we found is if you're cranky and unhappy, kind of tired, the residence halls, you're not going to have a good roommate relationship. So we do not look at ethnicities, we don't look at academic majors, we don't look at different programs or hobbies or interests or what type of pet you prefer. It's just those 3 lifestyle questions, again, what we call the cranky scale. We do ask with the housing application that you were honest with those 3 questions. If mom and dad are behind you and trying to influence your decision making, just tell them it's your application, you're a college student now, you need to go and do that and answer truthfully there. The other mechanism we just introduced this past February for all of our new students is an application called RoomSync, and it's a brand new application for us, and it actually interfaces with Facebook. And if you've completed your housing application already, you would have received this link via email has a big red button on it that says go find a roommate. So you can build your profile by answering 10 questions in RoomSync and then list 10 criteria that you're looking for in a preferred roommate. And then some magic happens in the background, an algorithm pops up, and then it generates a list of roommates that the algorithm thinks you would be compatible with. You can then engage with that student via Facebook or RoomSync or Twitter or another social media outlet or just email and start to develop that relationship. All the research we found with RoomSync is that it allows you to be involved in the roommate matching process opposed to us doing a blind assignment. We've already had about 580, maybe 590 students log on. We've successfully matched well over 100 students through RoomSync. And again, the students that have used the application really seem to enjoy that. So you're involved in the roommate matching process. You can see here from the slide in front of you some of our students on campus outside of the Witherspoon Student Center. Geographically, in the left-hand corner of the screen is the Student Health Center, very close proximity to our 20 residence halls here on campus. Again, this year, we have about 8,200 students on campus. We just added a brand new apartment complex to our inventory this year. So that number is going to jump up to about 9,000 students for the fall term. And then well over 2,000 students participate in our Living Learning Villages. So we have a question. Thank you for asking this question, Madison. We're told previously that if you're accepted to the first-year college program, you could receive permission and live somewhere other than Tucker or Owen. Is that true? That is true, and that's a great time on that question as we talk about Learning Living Villages. Any student that's accepted to the first-year college village can live either in Tucker and Owen as far as first-year college village or participate in another village on campus. So a requirement of the first-year college program is that you do need to live on campus in a village somewhere on campus, just can't choose to live independently in a residence hall. So again, you can do that through MyPack Portal. On the building preferences, just reorganize your building preferences to select what a residence hall that you're interested in. You'll also need to complete a Living Learning Village for the other village you're considering living in. And then a follow-up question to first-year college from Judy. Do first-year college majors have to live in a specific residence hall, not dorm? We do have residence halls here on campus. And yes, as a follow-up to the previous question there, first-year college students would live in Tucker and Owen. We do those assignments automatically unless a student opts out to participate in another village on campus. And then a question from Michael, who's asking, I'm in the process of declining on a school. What will happen with my housing options if I wait closer to May 1st? Oh, that's a great question. So again, since we do assignments based off of date of application and your priorities, the longer you wait to apply, the less likely you'll receive your top 3 choices. I know how many vacancies we have right now. I know how many assignments we are prepared to make. So what I would recommend in this case, if you're considering NC State University and looking at another school, again, since there's no application fee at NC State, go ahead and do your application now. If you decide not to attend NC State University, we just cancel your housing. There's no penalty there if you're not enrolled at the university. So for any student out there that's looking at NC State or other schools across the nation, if you're considering NC State and you've been accepted, please go ahead and do your housing application. If you decide then to choose to go to another university, go ahead and cancel your NC State housing application. And as long as you're not enrolled at NC State, there's no cancellation fee. On that note, a cancellation fee will come into play is if you've been accepted at NC State, you've completed a housing application, and then you cancel to go live off campus at, say, University Towers or College Inn or Valentine's Commons, Bubba Snack Shack, another off-campus rental property. If you cancel your housing to live somewhere other than university housing, then a cancellation fee does come into effect. Kieran is asking about roommates. When is the deadline to request a roommate? Another great question. So students can request a roommate up until we make your assignment. So we're looking at releasing housing assignments in the middle of May on a Friday afternoon. That's our plan at this point. So we've actually delayed our assignments process to give students as much time as possible to go ahead and do that mutual request. So at this point, I would say we have about 2, maybe 3 weeks max for students to make a preferred roommate change. If you log into MyPack Portal to make that roommate request and you have some issues and you can't access your application, feel free to just email our office with your preferred roommate. They'll also need to email and say, Chuck and I would be roommates, and we both agree to that. At that point, our assignment staff will go ahead and change the assignment for you. But so you can make any changes to your housing application up until you receive an official assignment. That gets kind of tricky because we do assignments before they were released. So again, you can log into MyPack portal, go to your housing application, scroll over to the roommate tab, change your preferred roommate, change your building preference, change your lifestyle questions, update your ADA needs if something should change between now and then. But if you stumble into any problems and you cannot update your housing application, that means we have made an assignment. And then just go ahead and email our office at housing.ncsu.edu, and we can make those changes for you over there. So again, back to Wellness Villages, and please keep the questions coming. Those are great, very important questions. Image over here is our brand new village here on campus, the Wellness Village. Right now we have 14 living learning villages here on campus, and we'll advance so you can see all of them. 14 villages here on campus. We've been researching villages since the early 60s, and all the data from the 60s up until this last academic cohort that we researched prove and illustrate that students that participate in a living learning village have a higher GPA of any student and is more connected back to the university. So your definition of connectedness may be a little different from mine, but we look at engagement, we look at satisfaction, we look at your pleasurability with the university and your ability to interact with other people. So students that participate in these villages, it's a shared experience, common experience, and then they're academically more successful. So think of yourself, who would you want to live with as a like-minded person, someone with shared experiences, shared interests? So we'll go through some of the village options here. A few of you have already referenced the first year college program. Those are for students that have not declared a major at NC State University. It's a great program. My niece came through first year college about 3 years ago. She's now in a sorority house here on campus. So first year college undeclared major as determined by the university. Great matriculation back into the university setting here for that first year. WISE, Women in Science and Engineering, one of our first villages here on campus. Fantastic program for any woman interested in science, math, engineering. That village is located at Lee Hall. The village does not fill the entire building, just 3 or 4 floors in the building over there. Great staff, great meeting spaces. The women come back early in August for some specific training for the WISE program. They spend time on the engineering campus. They bring in guest speakers, do lunch and learns. Really set up for a woman to be successful in math, science, and engineering. Students advocating for youth. Just that, students here at NC State University who are passionate about the learning process for young students. So the Say Village is in collaboration with the School of Education here at NC State University, and those students actually go out and mentor young students in the Wake County school system on a regular basis. So if you're passionate about education or learning, want to be a school teacher or a coach or a mentor at some point in your life, great boots on the ground experience for students. University Honors Village, students that are coded by the university as an honor students, students who are committed to lifelong learning. The majority of our students in the honors program matriculate into a master's program, PhD program, a JD program, an MD program. The entire program is geared towards a lifelong learning experience, lots of research, a lot of dedication, fantastic program. Those students live in Barry, Beckton, and Bagwell halls here on campus, and they're identified and invited by the university. The honors program is not an invitation from the housing office. It's from the university, and the university codes you as an honors student. Arts Village here on the central part of our campus. If you enjoy theater, music, artwork, throw-in pottery, paintings, drawings, exploring your artistic side, the Arts Village has been around for, I think, almost 10 years now. On the central part of campus, works in collaboration and participates in events with Arts NC State. Theater events, they've gone to New York City to see shows, they've gone to Chicago and Washington, D.C. to see shows. Again, students that have that artistic side and maybe an engineer but just needs that release on the arts piece. And so great program there. Eco Village was introduced 2 years ago and is housed in one of our most popular residence halls, Burgaw Residence Hall. Unlike me, who's middle-aged, I didn't grow up with recycling, and my generation wasn't as necessarily as concerned with the environment as you are. You've always recycled. You've always been exposed to a commitment to the environment and care for the environment. So the Eco Village we introduced 2 years ago in Burgaw Hall, wonderful program, concerned about the environment, concerned about the earth, programming and events. We have staff inside the residence halls. Whole mission of the program is really to preserve what we've already created here on the earth. Entrepreneurial initiative, brand new village we're introducing next year. It's reserved for upperclassmen, sophomores and up. As you know from looking at NC State University, fantastic technology, cutting edge technology, lots of patents, lots of new designs come from NC State University. Opportunity for students to create companies and project and pilot ideas. So the entrepreneurial village is just that, an opportunity for students like-minded to come together and create new programs, new devices, new software, new computers, new devices. We have a student on Centennial campus I met with at an open house event a couple weeks ago who has a Samsung Gear Watch. Broke into it, reprogrammed the whole Gear Watch and put new applications on it and designed a whole new platform for this Gear Watch. And then was going to Samsung to say, look what we can actually do with this watch. So students like that, students have a passion for change and using technology and creating. Brand new initiative coming online for fall of 14, again reserved for upperclassmen. The Scholars Program, similar to the Honors Program, identified by the university as a scholar committed to learning. The Scholars Program has a broad cultural view, so they're together every week, do some service learning projects, bring in a lot of guest speakers, but it's a well-balanced, well-rounded scholar. The Wellness Village, again, another new village. If you're concerned about your health and healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, working out, not smoking, not drinking, psychologically well-balanced, the Wellness Village is a good opportunity for you. If you're looking at ROTC or if you're a student athlete, we're a student athlete in high school and want to maintain that same lifestyle and stamina, I would consider the Wellness Village at Wood Hall. If you applied to NC State University, you know are predominantly known for engineering programs, so we created an engineering village last year. Second year will be this fall. My understanding is that everybody now is on a waitlist scenario. We've identified all of our candidates for the engineering village, but again, it's that shared communal common experience for students that want to be engineers, faculty and staff inside the residence halls, dedicated space inside the hall for the engineering students. Impact Leadership Village is one of my favorite villages. If you are a drum major, an athlete, a line leader, a cheerleader, a Boy Scout, Girl Scout, student leader, want to improve your leadership abilities, engaged in leadership, the Impact Leadership Village is a great opportunity for you. The whole mission of the village is to focus on and develop student leadership techniques. So early in the academic year, our students do ropes courses, they do challenge courses, really instill that notion of leadership for students. And then can you continue to use those leadership skills later in life as a manager, president, whatever the case may be. Women of Welch, great little program for students. Welch Hall is one of our 2 single-gender residence halls. Welch is reserved for women only, and then Gold is reserved for men only. Both residence halls hold about 58 people. So the Women of Welch program, or WOW, for students that participate in the program on their transcript from the university, they actually walk away with a leadership certificate for participating in the program. Targeted to women specifically, obviously, but great leadership opportunities there for female students at NC State University. And then Beyond the Brick, the state program, introduced that program 2 years ago, and that is focused towards our sophomore students and then our transfer students. So if you're considering transferring into NC State University, have already had a collegiate experience, the state program is a fantastic program for you to work with and live with other transfer students and really deal with the same issues of transferring in from another school here to NC State University. All of the villages are by application. So if you are excited about any of these villages, please log into MyPack portal and complete the village application. The village partners then review the applications and then approve students to participate. So again, if you're looking for a higher GPA than just living on campus, a higher GPA, more connected to the university, more relationships, more structure, more opportunities, the village options are a great program for our students. Working through here, some of the hot buttons with our Living Learning Villages, academic support inside the residence halls. 9 out of 10 of our residence halls have writing labs in them. We have tutors in the residence halls. Wolf Village staff over there hired a physics tutor a couple years ago. So the Living Learning Villages enhance those tutoring opportunities and those resource opportunities inside the residence halls. emphasis on personal development, social engagement, faculty interactions, community awareness, and volunteer opportunities. So this is a picture from one of our service learning trips that a village went on here this past academic year. So again, if you're, as you know, NC State is a rather large institution. Again, we have about 9,000 students living on campus. So if you're looking for a way to make sure you're connected and interacting with other people, Living Learning Village provides you with a lot of opportunity for engagement and participation here on campus. Your safety is one of our primary concerns. It's one of my major concerns in my role as associate director to make sure you have safe living environment here on campus. Here's a shot of our students taking a fire extinguisher class offered by our fire marshal's office here at NC State University. We are a land-grant public institution. We have a lot of real estate here to cover. We're fortunate we have a great working relationship with both our police department and our fire department. So unlike living in an apartment off campus, again, a college in Valentine's Commons, University Towers, or another facility off campus, where when you call 911 or activate your fire alarm, you have staff from Wake County Sheriff's Office, depending on where you live, maybe Cary Police, Raleigh Fire Department, Wake EMS. To those individuals, you are just another person. You're just a person living in an apartment complex. Here, living on campus inside the residence halls, you call 911. Our police department responds. We have 68 sworn officers. We train with them every fall, every spring. We work with them on a regular basis. Our director meets with the chief of police on a weekly basis to talk about the needs of our students. Our police chief is working on his PhD in higher education. He's concerned about the educational experience our students have here on campus. So again, we talked about that connectedness earlier, and that's built into that connectedness. Living on campus, everybody here at the NC State, whether it be faculty, staff, police officer, housekeeper, groundsman, whatever the case may be, we're all here to make sure you have that shared good common experience here on campus. So again, fire marshal's office here doing some training with our residents here at NC State University. Again, if you live on campus with us for 1 or 2 years, go to an off-campus market, own a house at some point, everybody should know some of these basic health and safety preventative steps. In addition to fire safety training we do in the residence halls through programming, we'll do regular programming with our police department and do some sexual assault awareness, do some physical attack awareness and takedown techniques. Again, make sure that you've got the skills needed to be safe. Shot of a traditional residence hall. So while we look down this corridor, we have 3 types of residence halls here on campus. We have traditional style, which is what you're looking at right now, a long corridor, and then you sharing a bathroom with 39 of your best friends or acquaintances in a residence hall. We have suite style residence halls, which could be you and 7 to 13 best friends sharing a bathroom. And then we have 2 former hotel complexes in our inventory, and those facilities, both Avon Ferry and North Halls, are a hot commodity for our students because it's you and a person with your own private bathroom. So a lot of great changes, a lot of opportunities there. We don't have a preferred residence hall. We don't have our best list of residence halls. Our campus is divided into 3 precincts. We have West Campus, Central Campus, and East Campus. Again, with our housing application, you can choose if you want a traditional hall or a suite style hall. There are pros and cons to both, and you get to decide that. All of our halls are equipped with the same amenities. So we have loftable beds. We provide microfridges in every residence hall room. Madison has a follow-up question here. To be allowed to live in somewhere other than Owen and Tucker, part of C, you have to be accepted into another living community. That is correct. If I applied to another community, how long would it take before I found out if I was accepted? It really depends on the village directors. They're going through on a regular basis now, daily, approving students for particular villages. What we'd like to do is have all of our villages approve their assignments next week so we can start making assignments for that May release. So if you are going to look at another village outside of First Year College, please go ahead and do that application as soon as possible. If villages are reviewing them, and our goal will be having information back from our villages late next week so we can start making assignments. I do know that the engineering village is full. Again, everybody at this point, engineering is on a wait list situation. The other villages are still accepting and reviewing applications. So we're talking about, and great question, Madison, keep them coming, you're doing a good job. So again, talking about the residence halls, some of the features of the residence halls. Unlike some other schools, we provide microfridges, which is a small microwave, a small refrigerator with a built-in freezer unit. So it's one less thing for you to worry about packing. We are in the South here in North Carolina, obviously. We upgraded all of our halls with air conditioning. About 10 years ago, we finished the last residence hall with air conditioning. So no need to try to pack an air conditioner or box fans. We've air conditioned all the residence halls. And after a governor, mandate by the governor, we were the first university to actually fully sprinkle all of our residence halls and fraternity houses. So again, emphasis on your personal safety and your safety inside the residence halls. That was a huge financial commitment for us. Again, want to make sure that you all are safe inside the residence halls. So we were able to sprinkle all the residence halls. Something you won't notice until it's needed, but again, it's there for your safety. On the note of safety, we're in the middle of a 3-year renovation project with all of our residence halls, and we're adding electric key card access to the exterior doors of all of our residence halls. So in this scenario here with the traditional residence hall, you would have electronic key access to the exterior door. That would then get you into the main door of the facility, and then your room key will open the bedroom door and then your bathroom door. Michael has a question. Wrong button. Michael asks, is there a residence hall where engineering majors tend to live besides the engineering village? There really is not. In your first year as an engineering student or marketing major or math student or Parks and Rec major, that first year you're on campus, you're always walking across the bookends of campus. So when you look at your residence halls, we don't have a centralized hall or one particular place that we drive students to based off your major, because your econ class could be at Nelson on one corner of campus, and then you may have a psych class down at Poe, which is the other end of campus. So students have a lot of choices when it comes to selecting their residence halls on campus. What we're hoping and intending is that our engineering students will then matriculate over to Wolf Ridge, brand new apartment complex we finished this year. We have about 360 students there right now, and then we'll bring 700 more beds online in the fall. Brand new apartment complex for students, have to be sophomore or up. We call it swanky, so it's granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, furnished living room, right on campus. So you can see with this slide here, traditional residence hall, a little on the gray side, still having a good time, providing great service and great amenities for our students. They're having a good time, obviously, but survive in a residence hall for a year and then move into one of our apartment complexes your sophomore year. And that engineering major, really applicable to any student on campus. If you are an athlete, we work with the coaches. We have athletes that are prefer to live in a particular residence hall or two, but other students, again, we don't drive particular students because of the major to particular residence halls. Quote here from a student here living on campus, looks like in the Wolf Village part of our campus, so should be an upperclassman. Here on campus, you're close to everything on campus, close to the cafeterias, close to classes and Carmichael and the gym and the library. The bus system does go to all the residence halls, so if you're considering bringing a car, you're more than welcome to do that. Please know that parking is not very convenient for our first year students, so it's usually at an overflow lot or some other area on campus. So your first year at campus, you really don't need to drive from your residence hall to your cafeteria to your classrooms. It's all within walking distance, biking distance, bus distance. We continue to add buses to the Wolf Line system every year. We add bike racks every year as well. And I don't have anything to do with parking, but you can apply for a parking permit through MyPack portal through the transportation office. We don't have horse boarding on campus. I've been asked that in the past. So we don't offer that service on the residence halls. I also don't have boat parking on campus. I don't know why, but that question has come up in the past also. So again, you would purchase your parking permit through the transportation office here. One of the programs we do here in the first weeks of class in August, just general cookouts. We usually feed all the residential students during Welcome Week. So residence halls open officially on Friday, and then we have a week of welcome, which 5 straight days of activities and events here on campus. And this picture, I do believe, is from our Chillin' and Grillin' event on Tucker Beach. So we bring in some bands, we work with Greek Life and their fraternities and sororities, assist with the event and preparing the food. Your student fee money is a part of this activity. But again, just one of the many programs and services here offered on campus. Traditionally, during each year, we offer well over 2,000 programs in the residence halls. So if you're on campus and looking for something to do, your resident advisors are there to plan events and program events for you. And again, about 2,000 events are offered just in the residence halls by themselves each year here on campus. Here you can see one of our elementary ed students here on campus talking about the benefits and the access to classes here on campus, and just some general good PR there. Doing another picture again, another shot of chilling and grilling. So again, about 9,000 students living on campus, and I think each year we feed 3,000 or 4,000 at this event. So a great way to kick off the fall term. Be here. You already checked in, already settled into the residence halls. Then big cookout and dance party that first week. Because classes start on Wednesday, we have things programmed every day of the week for you to be here, whether it be tours of the library, tours of Carmichael Gymnasium, convocation speakers here. That's a big event. So lots of good things going on. You don't see events like this every month, but usually 2 or 3 times for the academic year, you'll see events of this size magnitude here on campus. We've got some folks from our Eco Village check-in, so we can talk about check-in for a little bit if you'd like. I'll get distracted here first. Laura asks, if you're applying for a living and learning village and you get accepted, do you have to participate in it, or can you decide to opt out of it and live in a regular hall? Yes. So if you've been accepted to a village, let's just say Eco, since it's up on the screen right now, if you applied for the Eco Village and you decided, I can do that, okay. If you have been accepted to the Eco Village and you decided that you don't want to participate in the Eco Village any longer, just log back into MyPack portal and change your status to canceled. We'll change your assignment if you've already been assigned as part of the Eco Village assignment process. But participation in the villages is completely optional. So as you go through the summer and things change, whatever the case may be, if you decide to participate, you're welcome to. If you choose not to, you're in control of the process. So it's what you wish to participate in here on campus. And then Michael asks, are students generally happy with their assigned roommates? Yes. We'll say yes. We're anticipating with the room sync that since students are able to actually shop for roommates and begin that roommate dialogue earlier in the year, we're expecting greater satisfaction. We've spoken with 6 or 8 schools that have the same application, and they've seen that data. When you're involved in selecting your roommate, it's usually a good choice for folks. We do have a room change process in place for students. So moving in August, get settled in, interact with your roommate, and for whatever reason you realize mutually it's just not going to work. It's just not a healthy relationship. What we ask is that you can file a roommate or a room change request. You'll meet with your residence director. The residence director will sort of intercede and meet with both of you and try to evaluate why the room change request is in place. We do ask you to wait first, let things settle for those first 2 weeks, sort of get comfortable. There's always some growing pains with relationships. But if you determine it's just not going to work out for whatever reason, file for the room change request. Meet with the residence director, and then if space is available on campus, you'll work with the assignment staff if the move is approved to move to another vicinity here on campus. What we're seeing, happy with their assigned roommate, we also often get the question about bringing in a preferred roommate. Who's your best friend? So grew up with the same friend, gone to high school together, dated the same person, whatever the case may be, know that person for a long time, decide you want to live together. Is that usually a successful relationship? And honestly, it's about 50-50. My brother-in-law came to NC State several years ago, lived in the same suite all 4 years he was here. Same cohort of guys, still hang out together today. They were all best men at each other's weddings, still good friends. Used to play poker, now they have kids, they can't do that anymore. So that's sort of the extreme case where it worked really well for those folks. We've seen other cases where folks have had preferred roommates because they knew each other for a long time. They came in and realized that they actually knew nothing about that person, because going to the mall and being in class is very different than actually living with a person in a residence hall room. How do people share a bathroom in a typical residence hall? That's a great question. So in a traditional residence hall, those long corridor halls like Berry, Becton, Bagwell, Tucker, Owen, Alexander, and Turlington, it's usually 40 people. So it's usually 40 people to a hall-style bathroom, and there's an ample supply of toilets, showers, and sinks. And then in the suite style, it varies on the suite that you're in. It could be 8, 10, or 14 people. So good question there. Our personal effects safe in your room? Is theft a concern at NC State? Theft is always a concern regardless to where you're at, whether at NC State University or Clemson University or UCLA or at the mall. Theft is always a concern. So we have several security precautions in place. Again, we talked about that card swipe access that we're adding to all the residence halls. So all the exterior doors are locked. Swipe your card to get into the building. We do ask that you keep track of who's behind you. One of our biggest issues in the residence halls is what we call tailgating, where you'll open the door and someone comes in behind you and you have no idea who they are. So we like to say that safety is a shared concern, shared responsibility for everybody inside the residence halls. So just be aware of who is with you. We ask students to make sure that they, pull that exterior door shut when they come in. Make sure they keep the residence hall room door locked. Make sure they have their keys with them when they go from the residence hall room to the bathroom or across the hall to another facility. We're in downtown Raleigh. It's a great place to be. It's a great city, but we don't have a big fence around our campus. So we do have some folks coming in from the campus community, walking through, driving through here on property at NC State. If you look at any college, any university in the U.S., their #1 crime is theft. People just, walk away with a laptop, cell phone, iPod, whatever the case may be. So we do ask you, just don't abandon your things. Keep them close to you, whether it's the library, the cafeteria, inside your residence hall room. Always be cognizant that they're your personal belongings. I was here on campus last Saturday, brought my daughters for lunch for a step show. Young lady was at the Tally Student Center, all sprawled out, had her laptop up, her iPod was there, she had a tablet and a cell phone, a chem book and another book, and all sprawled out at a four-top table all by herself. Decided she had to go to the restroom, and she walked up and just left all of her belongings there. And it was 4 of us at our table and 3 people at another table, and that was it. And she abandoned all of her stuff. So it's those situations when those thefts do occur. So again, be cognizant of your belongings and your property. If you choose to bring a bicycle to campus, which a lot of our students do, make sure you bring a good U-bolt with you to campus so you can secure that bike to a tree or to a bike rack or some device here on campus. Make sure that you connect both your tires to your frame to the U-bolts. Front tires will walk away. For a while, bike seats were walking away, which just made for a very uncomfortable ride home. So just make sure that you're aware of your personal belongings. Again, some of the benefits, we've got that police force here on campus that patrols campus regularly. We've got police officers in the traditional 4-door sedan you see going around campus. We have horse-mounted patrol. We have student patrol staff just walking campus at night. We have Segways. We have Gators. Strong police presence here on campus. Again, for your safety, just let you know that staff are there for you. We also have a blue light program on campus, so you should be able to be on campus and look at any point and see 2 blue lights posted on campus for your safety. So there's a red button on there that says help. In the evening, if you want an escort from the library or back to your residence hall room or just don't feel safe or uncomfortable, go to that blue light, mash the button. There's a camera in there. The dispatch center answers immediately. They can pull you up on the camera. They can see you. They can see 360 around you. Average response time for our police department is about 2 minutes anywhere on campus. So just hang tight and they'll be right there. We also have a safety escort program in place on campus. So again, if you're at the cafeteria or at the library or getting out of your physics class 9 o'clock at night and want to ride back to campus or back to your residence hall room, just call our campus police department and they'll send you an officer in a vehicle to pick you up and make sure you're back into your living environment safely. Here you can see another shot of our residence hall room. Nothing is attached anymore except in some of our closets, which gives you a lot of flexibility with your room spaces. Again, we talked briefly a little bit a while ago. All of our beds are loftable, so students really seem to appreciate that. You get a little bit more real estate in the room. Lift the loft kits up as high as they'll go. You can put your tables. Students bring in futons to bring in extra large pieces of furniture into those residence hall rooms. Gives you the flexibility to really customize your space for your comfort. Again, we realize it is a residence hall room. I think it's 98% of our students coming into NC State University have never shared a room before with a sibling or any person. So we understand and realize that you're going from having your own personal room at home to sharing an experience with another student that you may or may not know. So we want to give you as much flexibility with the spaces. Our beds are extra long twins. So if you have a twin bed at home, your sheets are not going to fit. If you have a full-size bed, they're not going to fit. But they are extra long twin beds. We provide all the furniture there. Some things you are responsible for, cable TV is an additional charge inside the residence halls. All costs are located on our website for your review there. ResNet is your Ethernet connection, and that's an additional charge for you. It's $115 a term. What that does gives you dedicated hardwired access back to the university server. So we don't provide, at this point, wireless access in all the residence halls. We're piloting some new programs right now. But if you choose to bring a wireless router for your room or your suite, we do ask you to put a really good password on that router. With download rules and laws and regulations, if anything illegal is downloaded from your router, it's your responsibility. So again, just make sure you've got a really good password. Another quote from our students, convenience of living on campus, being close to meet. We do ask that when you're here on campus, meet some new people. Where I always encourage students to meet at least one student and one staff member. We're here at NC State University because we had a great experience as an undergraduate and graduate students. And so we're here to provide the same great services for incoming students. A shot of a young man using our laundry facilities. Some other schools you may be looking at, and we changed our program about 3 years ago. You don't need to carry a sock full of quarters around anymore. We include laundry in your residence hall room rent, so that it allows you to do 5 loads of wash each week, 5 loads of laundry each week, and then equivalent drying times. So see the red stripe on the back of his ID card, just go to the laundry room, swipe your card, then you're access to do your laundry each week. So again, another convenience, another benefit just added into your room rent rate. It's included there. With that also comes an online web app. So instead of you lugging your laundry down on a Friday night to do your laundry, you actually log on to the laundry room in your residence hall, and you'll be able to see all the washers and dryers. If they're green, they're available, they're ready for you to use. If they're red and shaking, they're being used by another student. So just another value-added amenity for you as a student at NC State. Another room shot here. Again, you can see students elected to loft their beds. Pretty standard furniture here in all the residence halls. Desk is provided. Chest of drawers. That's not our chair. Looks like he brought in his own chair for his comfort, and you're welcome to do that as well. All of our students, majority of our students bring their own laptops. Looks like there's a printer in the room, but no, we don't have computer labs on campus. We also have 24-hour service desks available in the residence halls, where you can retrieve your mail, and if you're locked out of your room, you're welcome to go to those service centers. Packages are also delivered there. So exterior shot of Tucker Residence Hall, home of the first year college program. We've talked about that already. In addition to the 2,000 plus programs that we offer inside the residence halls each year, there's over 600 clubs and organizations here at NC State University. So you look at the programs inside the residence halls, you look at the 14 living learning villages, you look at the 600 clubs on campus. It's really impossible for somebody to say there's nothing for me to do, there's no way for me to meet other people, there's no way for me to get out of my room and interact with other people. So we know there's plenty of opportunities on campus. The Greek Life Office also is managed by our Campus Life organization. So if you're looking to join a fraternity or sorority, we know that's a safely governed and safely managed process here at NC State. So again, another residence hall room. Really want to be able to show you what some of the amenities look like, what the rooms look like, give you some ideas on how to decorate, how to furnish. So again, you can see how popular the lofting is of the beds. It looks like these folks actually brought in 2 pieces of furniture. That looks like it's a futon on the right-hand side of the room, then a nice comfy cozy chair, and that's a shot of the Burgaw Residence Hall there. So again, want to be able to show you real-time what some of the residence halls look like. All of everything that you want to know about housing is available on our website. So we launched a new website a year ago. We're going to take a minute here and go to a question over here from Levi. Let's scroll down. Is roommate request guaranteed to be fulfilled if both parties request one another? That's a great question. I'm going to give you a political answer. We don't guarantee anything. It's impossible to make those guarantees. So we don't guarantee on-campus housing, but I can tell you in the last 10 years, we've never turned a student away. So the earlier you apply for housing, the more likely you are to receive your top 3 choices. Same thing with a roommate request. The earlier you submit that preferred roommate request and it's mutual, the more likely we are to be able to match that roommate request. Again, it does need to be mutual. So Levi, you need to request whomever, and then whomever needs to request you. One advantage that we have with the roommate matching element on our application is that Levi, let's say you've already completed your application, let's say you did it in January, and then your preferred roommate is going to apply next week. So what we do is we actually honor the roommate request per your application because you applied earlier. So it really helps pull that person up in their priorities. So it helps them get their top three building, one of their top three building choices helps with the roommate match. We do work diligently to match as many roommates as possible. So if housing applications come in, end of April, early May, we're very successful at matching those roommate requests. But students that try to apply May, June, and July, we really, it's almost impossible to guarantee some of those requests. So again, the key to anything is just apply early. And then Laura asks, if you're accepted into a specific school at NC State, can you switch into FYC program? No. First year college is only for students who are undeclared. So if you already have declared a major, engineering, parks and rec, psychology education, whatever the case may be, you cannot participate in the first year college program. So first year college is specifically designed for those students that are not declared a major yet. Under the age of 18, the day of check-in, so my parents are required to sign the parental approval form. Can I email the completed form and sign application instead of mailing it? Absolutely. Go ahead and have your parents sign off on it. You can fax it into our office. You can scan and email it in. We just need that signature from your parents that they agree to it. We're working on updating that system so it's electronic. We're not at that point yet. But please feel free to scan it and email it to housing@ncsu.edu, or you can fax it in as well. Levi says thanks. Levi, thank you for all your questions. That's really helped the presentation. I appreciate you being here. So again, back to the website over here. We try to chunk it into functional areas. So information about campus living, how to apply for housing, all the costs and agreements are a separate tab, and broke it down by types of residence halls. So double, singles, apartments, and then some more year-long properties. On the note of single rooms, we have a very limited number of single rooms, and we traditionally reserve those for upperclassmen. So please don't ask. We reserve those singles for upperclassmen, and then again, stay with us for a year or two, and then matriculate into a single room. Tab just for the village programs here on campus. Resident resources, that gets into how to complete a work order, the campus conduct information here on campus, how to use the washers and dryers, folks in our apartments, how to watch a video on how to load a dishwasher. So trying to add some resources there for our students. And guest housing, if you're from out of town and you're coming to the university just to sort of explore campus, or if you are out of town, your mom and dad want to come and visit for a while, we have guest rooms on campus. We have 38 guest rooms here on campus. It's a whopping $32.50 per night. It's in a furnished room, 2 full-size beds, daily housekeeping service, and any student affiliated with the university can use those rooms. So if mom and dad will come down to visit, grandma, aunt, whatever the case may be, instead of paying $100 at the hotel down the street, you can certainly apply to stay on campus. Some other tabs here, you can explore all the residence halls. We'll go to the next slide here. So as you're looking at the options here for on-campus housing, what we've done is we've set the same page up for every one of our residence halls, and you can drill down by hall, and you can see here at the bottom of the slide 3D floor plans. Gives you an idea of what the space looks like. You've got a couple, think right, left, and center, then a top-down view to give you an idea of what the spaces look like. And then below the 3D plans are actual photos. There should be 12 to 15 photos of every room for you to see that's completely furnished by our students. So give you an idea on how to customize your spaces based on what other students have done. And then as we scroll through the website, additional information on the village. If you have questions that we haven't answered yet about the first year, about villages, we have pages just for the villages, instructions on how to apply, and some of the choices or recommendations for villages. We talked about costs just briefly a little while ago, but you can see from our cost page here, a little table there towards the middle that shows you your room type. And then our students have asked, what's it cost per year? We've always done pricing per semester, but for financial aid and parental and some other budgeting concerns, people have said, what's it just cost us to be here for the year? So we've done that. We changed our tables. You can see what it costs per semester, what the internet cost is. Again, it's that mandatory required ResNet fee. It's a secure connection. We do regular updates on it. So you can see that semester cost as well as the full term cost. On the cost tab, it also lets you see costs on our apartments on campus and give you an idea of what to expect as you move into an apartment complex here on campus later in life. Again, so just some snapshots of our students studying. You can see we're in, looks like DC. Not sure where our guys are at, but again, opportunities living on campus, those cultural experiences, village trips. Our residence halls travel also. The Eco Village went up to Boston this past spring for an environmental conference and had a great opportunity there. We have students that go down for service learning trips and habitat for humanity trips. We send students to the Appalachian Mountains every year to rebuild homes and work with community resources. We send students to the coast. We've sent students down to Louisiana. So again, that full broad experience of living on campus. And people just hang out. So be on campus, relaxed. Technology is there. This is a great shot of a student on his iPad in a green space. The university has done a great job of adding wireless across campus into all the common spaces. So our residence hall lounges, the green spaces, the first floor areas all have wireless access. So getting tired of being cooped up inside your residence hall room, go outside. In this case, throw up a hammock, use one of our swings, park bench, whatever the case may be. Access to the outdoor life. We talked about move-in a little bit earlier. Early check-in is August 12 through 14, and there is a fee for early check-in. So if you're coming in because of work commitments here at the university or schedule conflicts with mom and dad or transportation, and you just can't be here on the 15th when they officially open, but you want to be here earlier, you can apply online to come in early. It's a $30 fee. It's $30 per night per day to move in early. There are some groups that have a mandatory early check-in. The band is one. Excuse me. So if you have been approved to participate in the band, you'll need to apply for your early check-in, and then there's early check-in fee there. You have transportation issues, taking the train, plane, whatever the case may be, and your travel plans just don't match our official move-in time, you can certainly apply to check in early. August 15th through 19th is the official check-in process. A lot of students ask, do I need to rush to be out here on Friday? Really, you don't. Our check-in is Friday and Saturday. We're all here all day with the same volunteers, the same staff, the same trams. We're all geared up for your arrival. So if you need to work, or if you're trying to wrap up a summer school class, or your parents are working, don't feel that you need to rush here on Friday, because we'll have all the staff here in place on Saturday to help with the check-in process. This is a great shot. You can see we've got some volunteers here. So we usually recruit 1,500, 2,000 volunteers each weekend to help with the move-in process. They're here to help move your things into the residence halls. They don't decorate, they don't build things, but they carry really well. Just come prepared for move-in. You can see guys in shorts and t-shirts and tennis shoes. That's very appropriate. Stiletto heels is probably inappropriate for move-in weekend, but it's a great day for us. If you're worried about weather, we have folks running water and ice cream around, and then we get right into all those activities that happen during that Welcome Week activity week. I think it's our last slide here about living on campus. We've got like 2 or 3 more minutes. If there's any questions, please feel free to shoot those on in. If not, we can recap on some of the other services, amenities on campus. We've talked about the loftable beds. We've talked about the microfridges. We've talked about campus safety. Do want to drive home the point that you will receive information from the off-campus market, College Inn, University Towers, Valentine Commons. Please know those are not on-campus housing. We have 20 residence halls on campus. Any student that has been accepted by the university can certainly apply for housing. You have the ability to preference your top 3 building choices. You can preference your roommate. There's an ADA tab, so if you are in need of functional accommodations, please feel free to put that information in your application. I actually coordinate all of that. So we have a couple students with celiac disease that need a 2nd or 3rd refrigerator. We're able to accommodate those. So please don't let that discourage you from living on campus. The student referenced the parental form that is required for our students to complete as well before they arrive. We talked about parking, dining. We'll talk about it very briefly, although dining is not part of our program. There's a wide variety of dining programs you can purchase while you're eating on campus. Freshman students are required to have a meal plan. Again, that's not coordinated through our office, but through university dining. Wide variety of dining options here on campus. In fact, just came from the dining hall on the way over here, as a matter of fact. I think we're just about out of time. If you folks don't have any other questions, we're going to go ahead and we'll just stop the housing presentation at this point and get ready for the next presentation. Thank you all for participating, and hope you all have a great day.